Hi, this is Shah Khan, and in this session we are going to learn what is an accounting equation with the help of an example. I will also put these notes and description so you can download as well. So now let's start. What is an accounting equation? Actually, accounting equation forms the very basis of the accounting and it is very important as well. It states that assets is equal to liability plus equity. Now if we are looking at what are the assets, actually assets are the resources of the business. Okay, how these resources are acquired for by business? There are two ways. Number one, it can be contributed by the owner himself. All right, what is the next? The other way is from the third party. There is no any other way, either by yourself if you are the owner of the business, or if you have multiple owners, by the owner by themselves, or by the third party. If it is by the owner, then it is equity, it becomes a part of equity. If it is by contribution is made by the third party, then it is liability. So that is why assets are always equal to liability plus equity. You can also distinguish this, you can also rearrange this accounting equation. You can also say in another way, if you want to look at that, you can always say that equity of a business or the capital of a business is equal to assets minus liabilities. So if you deduct all the liabilities of a company by the assets, you will get the equity. So you can also rearrange this accounting equation as well. One more additional thing, that you should not confuse yourself. If you are owner and if you are contributing in the business, you have to look at the business as a separate entity. So you are separate from your business if you are the owner of the business. Why? Because there is a concept called separate entity concept. It states that your business is separate from the owner. So if you look at that, that is why the resources contributed in the business are either by the third party or by the owner. If it is by the owner, then it becomes a part of equity. If it is contribution made by the third party, then it becomes a part of liability. So all the resources are equal to the sources. So that is why accounting equation is always tallied. And as we can see that this has dual aspect, one is this side, other is this side. That is why you also come across in the accounting the dual aspect of accounting, that is we call them debit and credit as well. So the debit and credit also emerge from accounting equation. Okay, so that was a brief concept of accounting equation. I hope you understood it. Now let us understand it with the help of an example. You have started a business with a cash capital of 100,000. All right. Okay. What happened over here? An asset has been increased. What is that asset? That is called cash, because you have introduced in the business and business is separate from you. So in the business there is increase of 100,000. Okay. 100,000 increase in business as a cash. So cash asset has been increased in the business. So that is why if you see over here in the accounting equation, on the asset side, cash has been increased with 100,000. And similarly, business is separate from you. So in the business, your capital has been increased with 100,000. So the total here, if you see over here, your accounting equation is tallied. Total assets 100,000, your equity 100,000, it is tallied. And here you haven't take any contribution from the third party, so this liability section is 0. So 100 is equal to 0 plus 100, so it is tallied. This was the first transaction that we understood. Asset increase, equity increase. Now in the next transaction we can see that you have purchased a machine, that is your asset, from the cash that you have already invested in the business. Okay, what are the effect? Now if you can see over here, when you have purchased the machine, an asset has been increased. Which asset? Machine asset has been increased, right? But how you have contributed towards this machine? From where you have obtained this machine? By giving away the cash. So one of your asset has been decreased as well. So if you see over here, your asset has been decreased with 10,000. Previously it was 100,000. Now it is 90,000, and another asset has been increased with the 10,000. So So again your accounting equation is tallied. This plus this, 10,000 plus 90,000 is equal to 100,000. So 100,000 is equal to 1. So your accounting equation is tallied again. All right, now let's see. Purchase a machine on credit for 25,000. Okay, so what happened here is that your asset has been increased. Machine is your asset, so asset has been increased with amount of 25,000. What else? Again a liability, because this time you have obtained it with the credit, so a liability from the third party, this is your responsibility. Liability has also been increased with 25,000. So you can see over here you have machine 1, all right, and here and this time previously you have had cash of 90,000. now you have the cash of 90,000, no reduction from the cash. Why? Because this time you have obtained it on credit, so this 25,000 asset has been increased and the liability of 25,000 has also been increased. So if you see over here the total, this 25,000 plus 10,000 plus 90,000 is equal to 125,000, right? And here you have total how much? This 100,000 plus 25,000, 125,000 is also tallied again. All right, you have purchased an inventory on cash for 20,000. okay, and you have purchased 20 items and each item is costing you 100,000. okay, let's see. Now you see over here you have already purchased a machine, you have already machine 2, you have now an asset has been increased. You have purchased an inventory. Inventory is your current asset. An asset has been increased with 20,000 and an asset has been decreased with 20,000. okay, so your asset has been increased and decreased. If you see over here, your asset, inventory asset has been increased. Previously in this you didn't have had any inventory. Now an inventory asset has been included in your list of assets. Previously you have had machine 2, machine 1 and cash of 90,000. now you have cash of 70,000 but you have inventory of 20,000. okay, so again if you will total it, you have machine 2 plus machine 1 plus cash of 70,000 because you have purchased inventory of 20,000. so 125,000 is equal to 125,000. so your accounting equation is tallied again. You have sold 5 items at the rate of 15,000 each. If you remember, you have purchased these items at the rate of 1,000 and you are selling it 1,500. So you are getting a profit of 500 with the each item. Okay, now let's see what will be the effects of this. You have sold 5 items, so how much total cash will be increased? 7,500. so what is the cash? Cash is your asset of 7,500. so cash asset of 7,500 will be increased in your accounting equation. So let's see. Yes, here 7,500 cash has been increased, and similarly you have given away your inventory. so inventory has been decreased with what? 5,000, because each inventory has a cost of 1,000. so 1,000 multiplied by 5 items, so 5,000 inventory has been decreased. okay, now if you see over here 7,500 you have obtained by selling inventory of 5,000. so how much is your profit? 7,500 minus 5,000. so what is your profit? 2,500. and profit belongs to whom? To the owner. And in this accounting equation, which part belongs to the owner? Equity. so 2,500 will go to the equity. so again if you will total it, this plus this plus this, now your cash has been increased with 77,500 and your inventory has been decreased because you have already sold, so 15,000. if you will total it, 127,500, this will become tally with 125,500. why? because your inventory has been increased with 2,000, sorry, because your equity has increased with 2,500 because of the profit that you have earned from this transaction. okay, so your accounting equation is again tallied. Now in the last section, if you see over here, you have paid a rent of 2,000. so now if you see over here, you have paid the rent and cash, so your asset will be decreased with which amount? 2000. If you see over here 2000, and similarly your equity has decreased because this expense is to be deducted from the equity with the 2000. So your accounting equation will be again tallied with 125,000 and 125,000. All right, so that is it. I hope you understand the concept of accounting equation. Please click the subscribe button for me and share it with your friends. Give me a motivating comments and like the video. Thank you. Take care.